minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Friday morning. I don't want to ask you to imagine what it would be like to experience what our next guest experienced. I don't want you to live it. I don't want you to imagine it. I know that some of you have lived through it, though. Judy Diller has captured our attention because she has written a book called Beyond Life. She lost her son, I believe it was 5 years ago, in 2009. His name is Charlie. He was 23 years old. How heartbreaking is that? And now you know why I say I don't want you to imagine what it's like. However, we've all lost somebody. Losing a child has got to be the worst person to lose. Her book is described as a fantasy/paranormal novel, and yet it is based on something real, and that something real is her dreams, her extraordinary dreams about Charlie after he passed away. And anybody who's ever had somebody pass away of whom then you've dreamed. I've had this happen to me. You wake up from the dream and you wonder, did that person just visit me? Can I go back? I've woken up from some dreams like that and just was like, oh wow, I just was there. They were just here, and it's so crazy. We had a guest years and years ago, Judy. What was Judy's name again? Do you remember? And she lost a son, and she never had dreams about him, but other people, and she wished she would. He died in a car accident.
Yes.
And forgive me, Judy, if you're listening, but I just forgot your last name. But anyway, he would not come to her in dreams. She would not dream about him. And other people would. And she was convinced from what other people told her were in their dreams that he was alive on the other side. You know what I mean? And so I forget her name. But anyway, Judy Diller is on the phone right now. Judy, good morning, Judy. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine.
and where are you? Where are you right now, Judy?
That was a nice introduction.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. We had another lady named Judy or Julie, and she also had a son who died, and I'm just drawing a blank as to who she is. She's going to kill me for not knowing her name, though. All right, so where are you, Judy? Where are you right now?
I'm in Daphne, Alabama.
Oh, in Alabama. Okay, not that far away.
Nope.
So let's see. Where do I start with this? Is the book like a journal of your dreams?
It's an adventure novel where Charlie leaves Earth and lives in the spiral realm with my deceased relatives, my mom and my dad and my grandparents and my nephew. Okay, I've never heard of spiral realm. What is that? It's just a world that came to me, while I'm writing. What do I call this other realm that's connected to Earth through a vortex? And I'm like, spiral realm.
Okay, so that's not a name that came to, like, in your dream. You had dreams of Charlie. You still do?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Not every day, but right after he passed away, it was like one right after another. And I'm like, like you were saying, I woke up and I'm like, did that just happen? Where am I?
Wow.
Am I in my house or where? And then I would tell my husband and my younger son, and Bobby went shopping with my husband once, and he came home. He said, "Mommy, I brought you this journal. You can keep your dreams in it."
Aww.
And I just sat down, and I wake up, I push Doug out of the way. Get out of the way, I got to go find my journal. I got to write this down. And he's like, okay.
So Doug is your husband?
Yeah.
Doug is your husband, yeah. And Bobby's another son. Do you have any other children?
Yeah. I just had the two boys. Charlie and Bobby were 10.5 years apart.
Oh, wow. And do the others have dreams of Charlie, or are you the only one that dreams of Charlie?
I'm the only one. Charlie and I were always watching these paranormal shows together and stuff, and, we believe, and we would have things happen to us. Like, Charlie, do you have anybody come to you? He said, Mom, Johnny comes and sits with me in my room. And that was my nephew that died in a freak accident.
Oh, my.
I could see Johnny standing by my bed, and then he'll sit and on the edge of bed while I work on my computer and stuff. We were connected that way.
Oh wow! So what do we call that? Do we call that psychic? What is that called when you can do that?
I think it's psychic and stuff, and I had all sorts of things happen ever since I was like, I would say 8 years old. My grandmother would come to me, and after my dad passed away, he came to me and talked to me about Mom. You got to give your mom this message, and I'm like, Dad, what exactly does that message mean? Judy, just don't mind. You tell her, she'll know.
Really?
And I told her, and I said, Mom, do you understand it? Oh yeah.
Oh wow, that is so cool. So somebody with your gift, I guess we can call that a gift. Somebody with your gift would be less afraid of death, even though it's not less sad. It's still sad, but less afraid. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's what After I was devastated to beyond what you could think after Charlie passed away. It's like, oh my God, how am I going to deal with this? And we started walking out of the hospital, and I stopped Doug, and I said, Doug, another chapter's opened for us in life, and this isn't going to break us up. We're going to continue on and find out what this new chapter is.
Wow.
You really were strong for yourself, but for others in your family and your friends, that is an awesome burden to carry.
And my friends and family, it's like, I try to reach out to them, and I would, of course, break up crying on the phone. It's like, oh, Judy, I got to go do something. And I'm like, how am I going to find an outlet? Mm-hmm. And then I woke up one day now. You got to believe me on this. The house, I had the dream when I woke up, and my house was foggy inside, and I'm like, okay, now I know the other things happened, and now what's going on here? So I walked down the hallway through the kitchen, and I sit at my computer, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I see a fog. I close my eyes, open up, the fog's still here. And Charlie, through the fog, said, Mom, I want you to write a book about your dreams. And I'm like, Charlie, I never wrote a book before. I don't even know how to begin one. Mom, sit at your computer. I got this. My sister calls it a ghostwriter.
Oh, that is great. I am so looking forward to hearing more. Judy, I don't mean to stop you. I wish I didn't have to, but we have to take a little break, and then we'll continue. Judy Diller is our guest. She's in Alabama. She has the devastating experience of losing her 23-year-old son, Charlie, back in 2009. But since then, she's had dreams. She, from her other son, got a gift. I'm just kind of catching people up that just tuned in, on like a journal, a blank journal. She began writing down the dreams she's been dreaming about Charlie, and that was an amazing story right there of actually seeing fog in her house, and then being able to communicate with Charlie regarding his request of her to actually write a book about these experiences. And so that's what we want to find out more about when we come back. Judy Diller, please stay with us, and I'm so looking forward to hearing more. We'll take a little break and be right back. This is WOCA The Source. It is 15 after 11.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Sunshine mixing with clouds today. There'll be a thunderstorm or two in the area this afternoon and evening. The high today, 88 to 92. Partly cloudy overnight, low 71 to 75. For tomorrow, times of sun and clouds with a shower or thunderstorm around, mainly in the afternoon and evening. The high, 88 to 92. For Sunday, variable cloudiness with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 89 to 93. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Veterans are the foundation upon which our freedom is built. Listen to The Source, WOCA, each Thursday at 9 a.m. to Veterans News with Hank Whittier from Vets Helping Vets. You'll hear tributes, information on veterans issues, and stories that will make you laugh, cry, and feel proud. Veterans News always focuses on the military, past and present, and on our first responders. Veterans News is brought to you each week by Palm Chevrolet, where supporting the community is the Palm Chevy way, and by Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nursery, keeping you blooming since 1952.
You've got to a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Frederick's Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Frederick's Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Frederick's Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Frederick's Appliance.
News Talk 1370 WOCA invites you to discover your full business potential. News Talk Radio is the perfect environment for your advertising. WOCA's News Talk format pinpoints information-hungry, better educated, high-income adults. So use us to talk to them. Call 732-8000. 732-8000. We're Ocala News Talk Radio. News Talk 1370 WOCA.
Hey, I'm Gary.
And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
You're listening to The Source, your home for Fox News and Fox Sports Weekends.
All right, thank you. 18 minutes after 11 o'clock. Let's return to Judy Diller. She's up in Alabama. Her book is called Beyond Life, a fantasy paranormal novel, but it is based on actual dreams that Judy had about her older son, Charlie, after he passed away in 2009 from pneumonia. Judy, thank you for staying with us through the break. I want to tell you something real quick. During the break, I looked up to see what the other Judy's name is. It's Collier, Judy Collier, and she lives in Louisiana, so you're kind of neighbors up there. But I wanted to tell you something else. This interview I had with her was years ago. The book didn't arrive till Saturday morning, and this was a Friday interview, so I didn't even see the book.
Yeah.
And Judy was telling me that her son, Kyle, had told her, because she didn't have dreams, but other people had dreams of him, and they reported to her that he was telling her when she sees snakes and birds that it would mean that he was there. And I froze when she said that, because 2 days earlier on a Wednesday, I saw a bird in my car. How a bird got in my car, I don't know. I let it out, and I couldn't believe it. That morning, that Friday morning, just before the show, I saw a snake in my bathtub. Not only, I know we live in Florida, there's lots of snakes. I never saw a snake on my property the entire time I lived there. I never saw a snake in my house, let alone in my bathtub. So that, within 2 days, I saw the snakes and the birds in places where they normally don't occur. And I was floored by the fact that was her message to him, and I was actually the one delivering it.
Yeah.
It was amazing to me. So, have you had any physical evidence that Charlie is around?
Yeah, I can. I go out into the pool and relax, and I could visually see his shadow standing, watching me, in the pool.
Oh my!
So, I'm not a swimmer, and I'm like, okay, Charlie, I'm being careful. And
oh gosh!
One time I was in the pool and I heard these footsteps, and I looked, and he was coming up the driveway towards the pool.
My goodness! Oh. But you're the only one, huh? Nobody else in the family has that ability?
No.
Gosh.
My husband and my younger son don't believe in the paranormal, so I figure that's a part of it. You have to believe to be able to live it.
So can I ask you a question about the journal that your younger son gave you? Did that actually make the connection stronger? Did writing it down make it stronger?
Yeah, it just, writing really helped me, cope with my grief, and then the journal helped me to live it. I can, keep track, I can, it made it more real. The dreams that see it in writing.
And psychiatrists will say that if you write down your dreams while you're still lying in bed, that you will remember them clearer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can, and then as I can write, I can see the scenes that he wants in it play in my mind and stuff, and then there'd be a few days later, so when I getting ready to self-publish Beyond Life, Mom, you got to go back to like chapter 3, and I want to change this part. Go look, there's something not quite right, and then I go back, and I'll be darned. There was like a misspelled word, or
wow,
or change things around. It's like a fragmented sentence.
Was he a writer?
He really loved English and and stuff, and he's mostly a computer geek. He'd help me. Charlie, I got a problem with my computer. Can you come help me? Sure.
So sometimes people, we're told that sometimes when people believe in the paranormal, that they don't lead a very spiritual life, that God is not prevalent in there, but God must be prevalent in your life.
I was brought up with a strict Catholic faith, and another thing, I go back to my roots. After I lost Charlie, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to tell you what happened with this. I was telling you about my dad and his dreams. Mm-hmm. He said, Judy, I only have a few more hours left I can spend on Earth. I need to leave, but here's my final comments. Whenever you need me in life, just whisper my name. I'm always walking beside you. Now remember, all you need, if you need my help, is to whisper my name. And I put that in the book.
Wow.
So do you call him by name, or do you call him Dad?
I just, Dad, I need your help.
Okay. So why in the book do you call Charlie Feshy?
Oh, because, my dad told me, Judy, his aunts started passing away, and I was like 8 years old, like I told you. And I said, Dad, what happens when you die? And he says, Judy, you go back to the happiest point in your life. So the happiest point in Charlie's life was when we played online gaming, and his character in this one game was Feshy.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I call him Feshy in the book.
Oh, wow. Now
another thing, I'm Gigi in the book, and my younger son's Falk.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So is your dad in the book?
Yeah, he's Lawrence.
Oh, he's Lawrence.
Oh, that's your name.
That's my name. So tell me, what do you call this place again? The Spyro, what is it again?
Yeah, Spiral Realm.
Spiral Realm. Okay.
It's just the name that came to me. I thought, I'm working on book 2. I'm doing a series of 5. And I'll have one, in book 2, I just want to hit on it, if that's okay, for a minute.
Yeah.
It's going to be more Feshy being a Cape Crusader against bullying. He'll be traveling around the U.S. to combat bullies in a good way.
Well, that's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing. I wonder if we really can do that. I've often thought when you call it the Spiral Realm, I think most people call it heaven. Is it the same place?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like my grandparents lived on this farm, and it turned into a subdivision. It's supposed to be called St. John's Court. So in Spiral Realm, heaven, they live on this farm, and I take the compound, I turn into a compound, and it's St. John's Court.
Oh, my.
Really?
My grandpa,
Mm-hmm.
I like to represent a lot of my roots in the book, and I have Gigi and Feshy will be sitting down and chatting about, death and my grieving, and, we be talking through, grieving, how I can handle myself in real life, and how I can, help with bullying and stuff like that. And there's everything, bias and self-image. Charlie had a lot of, he didn't think that he was handsome or anything. And his picture's at the beginning of Beyond Life, by the way. Mm-hmm. And so I hit on all sorts of topics and stuff.
Wow. Yeah,
go ahead.
I'm just going to question something in my notes. It says that your younger son helped you write this book?
Yes. it was real interesting. I home educate both of my sons, and Bobby, that was part of his home education, was helping write Beyond Life, and he sat down on his laptop and wrote 5 chapters. I was going through editing, and one day we tried to get on the laptop, and it crashed, and we didn't have it saved.
Oh, no.
No. I looked at Bobby, and I said, oh, my. He said, Mom, I'm not rewriting it. I said, Bobby, I got this. So I set up my computer, and I took, I read through all his chapters, so I just took what he took, added parts to it, and then from then on he would sit by me and I say, okay, I need a name for a bully. The shadow mist in the book comes from, I was telling you what happened that one morning I woke up.
Right, with the fog.
In my dreams I'd be fighting werewolves, and I'm like with Charlie, that's his it represents his bully, being bullied in real life. And I feel that even though he's gone, passed on, that he's still having issues with bullying and stuff. And so Beyond Life is him trying to overcome being bullied and working through his grief that he passed on. People that do pass on, they're going through grief too, because they left their loved ones, so they're grieving too. So I bring in about that too in Beyond Life.
And do you cry sometimes when you were writing the book, taking your notes from the journal to make it into the book? I
cried every stroke, every every word. And
gosh.
That's why it took me 4 years to write.
Yeah, I bet.
So there's some days I couldn't sit down and type. I didn't feel like Charlie was near me when I feel his presence real strong. And I could just sit for hours, and I'm looking at the clock. Oh, my God. I worked from home. I got 10 minutes to log into work. I sit for 7 hours one day and didn't even look at the clock.
Wow.
Everything.
I just went to Amazon, and I found that on Amazon you can look at the book, like a sample of the book, and as I'm scrolling at the very beginning, I see a photo of Charlie. So, wow, my heart breaks for you actually to look at this. Well, what an encouraging conversation. I think that you've kind of touched all of us with your story and made us all. I believe there is an afterlife. I don't know what's there. Any dream I've ever had hasn't been as clear as the ones you apparently have had. But I think people like you who are gifted that way help the rest of us maybe make sense out of all of this. It just doesn't make sense that we should just live and then die and that's it.
No.
I think you make a lot of people. You connect the dots for a lot of people, I think, with this, Judy. The book I found is on Amazon. It's called Beyond Life. If you put Beyond Life and then just put Diller, Judy Diller.
J.A. Diller.
Yeah, it's actually J, but you just need to put Diller, and it'll come up first thing on Amazon. Just put Beyond Life Diller, and it'll come up. It is written by Judy, and your pen name is J.A. Is that right?
Yes, J.A.
J.A. Diller, and B.J. Diller is her son. Also co-authored the book. Judy, thank you for being on the air with us today.
Oh, thanks for having me. It was great, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
That was awesome. And if you hang on, Robin will tell you how we can send you the interview if you want it for something. So just hang on, don't go away. We'll take a little break though for the listeners, and we'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. In Gaza, a temporary truce ending barely before it began, leaving at least 35 Palestinians and 2 Israeli soldiers dead. Militants also reportedly snuck through a tunnel, kidnapping an Israeli soldier.
One of them was wearing a suicide vest, which he detonated, injuring a number of Israeli soldiers. One soldier was dragged back into the tunnel and back into Gaza.
Jonathan Samuels of Sky News. At least 1 of 2 Americans infected with the Ebola virus in West Africa apparently due in Atlanta for treatment.
Dr. Kent Brantley and nurse Nancy Wright